Hey guys, Paul with Ashen Phoenix. We're here at the comic book store as usual because it is New Comic Book Day. We are going to be reviewing comics for the week of August 10th, and we're going to get started. Alright, first up we have Detective Comics, issue number 938. It's a rebirth title. For those of you who don't realize what's going on, we have 3 Batman titles now, so we have 3 different stories that are not really coming together, but I like the DC Detective Comics issues because they deal with a lot more of the characters that you really liked pre-New 52. Tim Drake, Stephanie Brown, Cassandra Cain, even Batwoman, even though Batwoman does exist in the New 52. So, we get this story. A agency is looking around and following everybody. It is government controlled, and now Batman and Batwoman are training everyone to take on this new role. And I'm not going to spoil it for you, but we find out who is running the colony. And they're off book. They're not running what the government should be doing. So think Suicide Squad, but with a much bigger budget and doing the wrong things, but not realizing they're doing the wrong things. Highly recommend picking up Detective Comics. In my opinion, it's the stronger of the 3 series, although I haven't read All-Star Batman yet. We're going to get to that a little bit later. And the other Batman, not really a fan of, especially since Snyder left. There's really kind of no point in reading that one, so I suggest picking this one up.
Hey guys, it's me, Jess from Team Ashen, and I did the review of Superwoman #1. So, as you can see, I'm going to put it down and not read you guys a bedtime story. Alright guys, so I would like to just start out by saying, hey guys, it's me, Jess from Team Ashen, and I did the review of Superwoman #1. So, as you can see, I'm going to put it down and not read you guys a bedtime story. Alright guys, so I would like to just start out by saying this is very confusing in the beginning. So it goes with the New 52 from what I'm kind of understanding. So Lana is a news reporter and she's kind of interviewing Lex, and we find out that Lex is now trying to be Superman since Doomsday, and we find out that Lois and Lana happened to be at the Nova when the explosion happened and got some of Superman's powers. So now Lois is training and she's kind of, Lana's there with her trying to help her, and you see that there now are 2 Superwoman guys. So this is actually really decent. It is a #1, so it's a great time to start it, and it is a rebirth. However, it's tricky. So, and I don't mean just me tricky, because you guys know how I am. I mean like tricky as in like we had all 3 of us in here trying to figure out some things, and you're going to have to, it jumps around a lot, and by the end of it, there's a confusion. Is someone alive? Is someone dead? It's going to be a good series, I believe, but this first issue, it leaves a lot of questions unanswered and a lot of craziness, a little bit of back and forth. But I think in the end of it all, I would like to give this one probably like a 4 out of 5, because it did definitely keep my interest, and it's very cool that there's like a Superwoman now. There's 2 Superwomen now, and it'll be interesting to see which this follows or if it follows both. So I would definitely say check this one out.
Alright guys, this is Tim from Capes and Scowls, also from the comic book store. You know where to find me. We've told you enough times, right? It's in the comments or in the description. It's somewhere. It's in the description. So, for the kids, or I mean, adults can have these too, I suppose. DC Super Pets, these are interesting. There's a whole bunch of them. We have Jumpa the kangaroo, because this one time Wonder Woman rode a kangaroo. I swear to God that happened. And Ace the bat dog. Ace was the dog in, Batman Beyond. So,
Where's Crypto?
I assume Crypto's still coming, but here's some things for the kids. Speaking of the kids, SpongeBob. I was dared to do SpongeBob because I did Walt Disney Uncle Scrooge. Let me tell you, Uncle Scrooge was a lot of fun. This was not. But this is good for kids. This is really good for kids. It has a bunch of different stories in it, many short stories, so if your kid has a very short attention span, here you are. The first story was written by Chuck Dixon, which I think was pretty cool, because he's a DC writer from back in the day that was pretty well known, and he does a Western story. It has a pretty cool art style to it. The art style changes throughout the book. I absolutely hated it. I don't care about SpongeBob. I don't care if you do. I don't. And, you know, Uncle Scrooge was very readable. This was not. So there's that.
Next up, we got Suicide Squad, issue #1, Most Wanted. This issue follows Diablo and Boomerang. The reason I picked this one, if you see my Suicide Squad review, I like the movie overall, but I was a little kind of upset that Diablo and Boomerang didn't really get a bigger role. Everything was kind of eclipsed with Deadshot and Harley. This is going to be a 2-issue series, basically giving a Diablo backstory and a Boomerang backstory. I will say that Diablo is a much more enjoyable part of the story. If you're familiar with Boomerang from either the movie or the Flash TV series, the comic book version is very different from those two. He's much less put together, way more racist, abrasive, and also out of shape. So, my guy. Everything's picking up there. Diablo is no longer part of the Suicide Squad. He is now picking up in another government agency called Checkmate. If you've probably heard of Checkmate, depending on what you know of comics or even some of the TV series. So I suggest picking this one up. It's kind of neat, especially if you liked the Suicide Squad, but you wanted to see more of the ancillary characters that kind of got left behind. I suggest picking this one up.
All right, guys. Why the Last Man? This is trade or book number 5. This just came out. The series has been done for a while. This is the completion of the new trades. This book is amazing. It's Brian K. Vaughan who wrote Saga. If you have not checked it out, absolutely check it out. But now you can have it complete in these thicker volumes. The basics of the story is all the men drop dead. Hooray! And you just have the one man Yurik and his pet monkey, which is also male. And you have to figure out, why is this guy alive? Why is the monkey alive? So it's an apocalyptic kind of story, but it's not the typical one. There's no monsters, no zombies. And how the world would be run by women, which is actually very interesting. Because there's certain, facts as to, like, hey, certain countries had women piloting submarines, so they have the whole ocean. Things like that. Really good book. Again, it's Vaughn who did Saga, so if you're all about Saga, this is pretty good too.
Hey guys, alright, so I read Wonder Woman number 4, and you can see it has a little 75 for Wonder Woman there, so you guys can check it out. Alright, so this one starts out with all the gods. Now it's kind of going back to her origin, and if you guys had started off with 1 through 3, I'm guessing that's all kind of what it's been as her origin. So we're back with the gods. She has helped save some soldiers that have kind of been in battle, and one of them in particular is Steve. So if you guys know the plot along there, and it starts with the gods kind of deciding that someone's going to have to take these guys back to Earth, and they will be sent there forever to look over Earth and pretty much patrol, take care of Earth. So there is a war that has to happen between the Amazons, the women, and the queen. So Diane's mother is the one that holds it, and there's a battle through them, and the top 3 are picked. And Wonder Woman with her cuffs is the one that's finally chosen, and in this one given the lasso and pushed through. And she tells her mom she'll be back, and we know her ongoing battle with that kind of happens that I talked about in one of the other ones. So this one's kind of just giving you the background of everything that's going on with Wonder Woman, and I think it's a really great one. I think I said it's a really great one to start because it's giving you every bit of her background, and then you get the Steve part of it and why she was the one that was chosen to be sent, and she's given the lasso and everything. So I really enjoyed this one, an easy one to go through, unlike the Superwoman that I went through. So definitely like this one. I think the only thing that I did not like about this one, but it was kind of slow leading up to where you wanted to get, because you wanted to know about Superwoman. So you're dealing with the gods and everything that's kind of happening, and then you finally get to her. So I said Superwoman. Oh, guys, sorry. You know me. Wonder Woman. See, I make it up that way. I just read Superwoman, so you guys got to work with me. I didn't even realize that I did that. But yeah, so this is a great one. Check it out. This is, again, number 4 of the rebirth of Wonder Woman, and I hope you guys enjoy. Thanks.
New Superman, issue 2. I reviewed issue 1, but Paul didn't put it up because he doesn't like me. I'm starting to take it personal, Paul.
Look, I do this stuff at 4 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes it
take it very personal, Paul. But that's okay. The first issue I really liked. This one was okay. I'm on the fence. I don't like the character very much. He's very much a jerk. And he gets on my nerves, but that's kind of the point. He's supposed to get on your nerves.
Is he totally awesome?
he is way better than Totally Awesome. He is new. Totally Awesome is some BS. So basically, the basic plot is China is creating their own Justice League. They mentioned the Great Ten, which I actually mentioned in my review that doesn't exist anymore because Paul's a jerk. So they say the Great Ten is a bunch of relics. We're trying to make our new Justice League. Basically, this character does not get along with the Wonder Woman of China and the Batman of China. He calls the Batman fat. He hits on the Wonder Woman. It's really, really terrible. But they end up going on a mission, and he's actually pretty useful, even though his powers are on the fritz. This is not an amazing book. It's not a terrible book. If you like oddball kind of characters, he's pretty good. He does have all of Superman's powers, but they're, like I said, on the fritz in this story. So it's okay. You might like it. I don't know. I could have skipped it.
All right, my last comic for the day is Civil War II, The Accused. I'm not sure if this is a one-shot or if it's going to be a continuing series. The ending kind of wraps everything up, so I'm not sure if this is going to go on. So I'm going to assume that this is a one issue. If you were following our reviews, you know I'm heavily into the Civil War series. I love it. It's doing very well. This picks up in between issue number 3 and issue number 4 of Suicide Squad. If you were following along...
I'm not done laughing at you.
I hate you. If you were following... You were just giving me more work. Stop.
No, go ahead, really.
If you were following along...
No, try. You should try.
I'm really trying.
In with the good air, out with the bad.
If you're following along to our other reviews, you know I am really big on Civil War right now. This issue takes place in between issues number 3 and issues number 4. We all know that now at this point, or at least I hope you guys know, Bruce Banner's dead. The Hulk is dead. And Clint Barton killed him. Hawkeye killed him, shot him in the head. This picks up with the trial. It's kind of a bombshell of what happens in issue number 4, so I'm not going to spoil that one for you because it's still only a week or two old. But this picks up with the trial. It actually fills in what's going on, and the trial is much more nefarious than we thought it was before. This is actually way worse, and is somewhat of a Trojan horse for something that has gone on in the Marvel Universe before. So I'm not going to spoil that, but it is something that will come back and bite everybody, and this issue deals with trying to stave off those problems. I highly suggest this one. It's a very Daredevil intensive issue, so if you're a Daredevil fan, you're going to love this issue. If you're not a Daredevil fan, pick it up anyway, because it's pretty decent. And that's what we got. So definitely pick up The Accused issue number 1. Again, I'm not really sure if there's going to be extra issues, but Accused number 1 at least is very good.
No, this is my happy face. Alright, guys. This is the best book I read this week. All-Star Batman number 1. It's Scott Snyder. I almost said Zack Snyder like you did earlier. It's totally wrong. Scott Snyder. And the most serious-looking Batarang ever. What's up with that, Ramita? Is this Ramita? Yes, Ramita. Ramita Jr. This book's pretty good. Snyder said he wanted to focus on Two-Face because he really didn't touch on him in his whole New 52 run. This book has this initial story with Two-Face and then a short story at the end. This is a very unique idea. Basically, Batman's trying to take Harvey Dent away from Gotham to rehabilitate him. Harvey says, take me to this location and get me out of Gotham. I feel like Two-Face is coming again, and he's coming stronger. And every time he comes, it's for a longer period of time, and I don't come back as far as his split personalities. You're not really sure why he's rushing him to this specific location, and they take the Batjet. But he takes him, and then it's time jumping around, and then Two-Face says, I had a plan for this, and there's a feed that goes over the internet where he's like, hey, I have all this information on pretty much everybody. I'm going to put it all over the internet. terrible, terrible things. So if you don't want that to happen, just come stop Batman and set me free and let me go. And I'll give you a reward. Millions of dollars. So all the villains come and attack. They do Firefly and Killer Moth, which is great because those characters hadn't really been touched on in a while. Firefly looks really cool, and Killer Moth never gets any love. So, and then other villains show up as well. Really cool, including some scenes where some people you wouldn't expect come after him. Two-Face does hint that people close to him might be after him as well. And you do get a little reveal, which I won't spoil here. This book, really good. The backup story was really short. It was pretty good, but really short, so I guess over time we'll see how that develops. But I loved it. It was good.
All right, guys. So I did Scarlet Witch number 9. This is a Civil War II tie-in. So here y'all. All right, guys. So I'm pissed off at this one. So the reason I'm pissed off at this one is because it mainly is just squabbling between Wanda and her brother throughout the entire thing of trying. He comes and he tries to get Wanda to join the Civil War, and she at first thought it was the Captain America and Tony Civil War, and then he explains to her it's Tony and Carol Civil War, and they go back and forth, and he's trying to control like the big brother does, and she really wants her own space and to be whom she is because she's an adult, and she tries to make that very clear to him. And the entire comic is then battling back and forth to the point where it even gets physical at some point in time, and it kind of is left with leave, or I'll make you leave, and almost kill each other as brother and sister, and that, you know, he's not going to be back anymore, and now she's upset that he's not typical woman shit, like, you leave now, leave, get out of here, but I'm going to cry as soon as you leave, and I want you to come back. So this one was not a good one by me, and I think this is the first time I've kind of ripped through a comic, so to me it was just a whole lot of
She's one of us now.
Yeah, it
it's
was
so beautiful. It's
I'm one of
see
them.
the hate.
I'm the
see
main
the
one
hate
now.
when comics hate.
It sucked. I don't know. I just wasn't about this one, guys. I mean, totally up to you. Go out and get it if you're. I like one. I like Scarlet Witch. It's actually one of the cosplays I wanted to do. I just was not feeling this one at all. So that's my take on it. I hope that you guys enjoy everything else that we did tonight, though. Thank you. All right, guys, I just want to say thank you for all of you who checked in with me and told me to get better. I really do appreciate it. Thanks for sticking with my guys. That did a great job holding it down for me last week. I hope you enjoyed. And remember, I hope that you enjoy everything this week. Please remember to like, subscribe, check out our Patreon page, leave us comments, and let us know what you'd like to hear. Thanks, guys.